Hello, good evening everybody. I am Dr. Sudhanshu, DNB consultant physician. Today I will be talking on fever. Fever technically is any body temperature above normal of 98.6 degree Fahrenheit in centigrade, 36 degree centigrade. In practice, a person is usually not considered to have significant fever until the temperature is above 100.4 degree Fahrenheit. Now coming to types of fever. There are basically four types. Continuous fever, in which temperature is normal throughout the day, above the normal throughout the day, with a fluctuation of temperature less than 1 degree Fahrenheit. So it is more common in viral fever. So this is known as continuous fever. In remittent fever, temperature is above normal throughout the day with fluctuation more than 1 degree Fahrenheit. So this is known as remittent fever. And intermittent fever, temperature touches normal during the day and it might be seen in abscess, bacteremia and malaria. And in relapsing fever, short febrile episode between a day of normal temperature is known as relapsing fever. So fever can relapse within 24 hours, within 36 hours, within 72 hours, depending on the cause of the fever in different types of malaria. Now coming to the different causes of fever. Most important cause, as we all know, is the infection. Either it can be in the lung, either it can be in the blood, it can be in any soft tissues, bone, urine, brain. So many different organs of the body can be infected, and that is the most common cause for fever, infections. Another common cause for fever is immune mediated, in which there is granulomatous meningoencephalitis, paniculitis, polyarthritis, steroid responsive fever, systemic lupus erythematosus. These are the main immune mediated fever. And the third cause of fever is neoplasm, might be lymphoid leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma and other leukemias. And in miscellaneous, we have hypertrophy, osteodystrophy, intraventricular disc disease, pancreatitis, acute and chronic panosteotitis, polyarthritis nodosa, and sometimes fever will not have definite cause, and which we put in the category of fever of unknown origin. So now, how can we diagnose fever and its cause? It has to be approached very judiciously. We will have to think what the patient has presented in the history, what can be the common cause, and we will have to approach systematically. If it is an infectious cause, we diagnose by doing proper blood investigation, doing certain antigen antibody test, peripheral blood film to see parasites or protozoa or whatever causative agent for the fever. Sometimes we do immunological evaluation to understand any autoimmune disease. We might do chest x-ray if somebody is complaining of cough, fever, weight loss, sputum production, to differentiate whether it is tuberculosis. Sometime we might also do few investigations specifically to understand whether it is dengue, malaria, some viral fever. And as we all know, fever was the main talk throughout the world in 2020. So it's a viral pandemic. So we might also do real-time polymerase chain reaction to understand the cause of fever, whether it is COVID related or some other cause of fever. So these are the basic common approach that we can plan to diagnose fever. Sometimes it can be little difficult, but we will have to approach systematically and increase step by step to come to a proper diagnosis for fever. So treatment of fever basically relies on cause of the fever. Whether it is viral infection, we will have to wait for 7 days and manage with symptomatic approach, trying to control the fever, trying to control dehydration, monitoring blood pressure, urine output, common lab investigation to understand basic parameters and lab investigations. If it is typhoid, we will have to approach with proper antibiotic. If you think of malaria, we will have to give anti-malarial medication. Depending on the places, the two places, different types and different classes of anti-malarial medication are used. If it is autoimmune disorders, we use steroid to control fever, and if it is organ related, we try to approach in similar way. Whether if it is tuberculosis, we give anti-tubercular drug. If it is heart related problem, we will have to give antibiotic to common bacteria that causes heart problem. If it is peritonitis, we give antibiotic, broad spectrum antibiotic. If it is pancreatitis, we will have to admit the patient and approach with a different approach to prevent the patient from shock and managing the patient with hospital admission. So these are the basic approach for fever and its treatment. Treatment means find the cause and treat the cause. That is the one line answer for treatment of fever. So what can we all do to prevent ourselves from fever? First and foremost thing, we should all maintain proper hygiene, cleanliness, and cleanliness starts from home, kitchen, washroom, habit of hand washing, segregating waste in a scientific way, disposal of waste in a proper scientific way, following biomedical waste management at home and home level, which will collectively come to a society level, and society level collectively come to community level collectively becomes a effort by the whole city and town. So this is the basic approach we will have to understand, and everybody should know what is proper biomedical waste management, how it is done, how it is segregated, and how it is kept in different dustbin. So this is the prevention method, hygiene. Another, we will have to be careful about its transmission also. Whenever some pandemic arises, we will have to follow basic norms, the guidelines drawn by the WHO for its prevention. Like so many times we understand that mosquito is the basic common agents for fever in malaria, dengue. So we will have to screen our house, keep our society clean, let not the water be stagnant and becomes a place, breeding place for mosquito. So these are the basic preventive things we can do to prevent ourselves from fever. Now talking about the home remedies, first and foremost thing, we should monitor our temperature. Everybody should have digital temperature. Nowadays people do not keep mercury temperature thermometer because mercury has been taken as hazardous element which should not be used because of its poisonous effect. So we should have digital thermometer. Nowadays people are more commonly and easily using infrared thermometer also. So for any fever we should make a chart. Making of the chart help us to understand the fever in a better format rather than explaining how it was. If you see the chart, doctor will definitely understand what kind of fever it was, the pattern of fever, when it goes up, when it goes high, and how high it goes, and how long it takes to come to normal. So these are the basic finer points that can be deduced if we chart the temperature. Number 2, we should have antipyretic medication, basic antipyretic medication. So whenever fever arises, we take it. We try it at home for 1 to 2 times, and if it is not improving, then we should approach doctor. And for pediatric age group, it is very important that we give proper dose, approach the doctor as early as possible, because pediatric age group people can have febrile seizure, which can sometimes be very fatal, and child has to be put on medication for 1 to 2 years or sometimes longer duration of time also. And it is not easy thing for a child to face seizure attack. So we should be very careful. These are the basic things. We should try to prevent dehydration, and we should keep medication at home, understand the problem, approach the doctor as early as possible, investigate systematically, and come to a better conclusion why the fever has happened, and initiate the treatment. So this was all about fever. I tried my best to wrap up in as short as possible video. Thank you very much.